Hi, my name is Allyson Whipple. I am a feminist poet based out of Austin, Texas, although I am an Ohio native. And I wanted to read you some of my Ohio poems today. These two are part of a series, and I hope you enjoy them. Where Rivers Come From. In 1969, my father learns that glaciers scooped out the earth, melted into great lakes, how thick ice thinned into rivers. He does not know that the Cuyahoga caught fire the year before he was born, or about any of the other times it went ablaze. He knows that swimming is his mother's only respite from his father's brimstone hands. At the Catholic school, nuns teach my mother about Moses floating down the Nile in a basket, about the River Jordan and the 7 miracles. She does not learn the creation myths from the Erie tribes expelled a century ago. It's almost June, almost time for summer vacation. For the months, she is keeping charge of her siblings, keeping them at a distance from her father's apocalyptic temper. Meanwhile, a sludge of sulfur, of oil, of industrial detritus is thickening again on the surface of the Cuyahoga. Fish suffocate. Birds lay eggs doomed to never hatch. One wrong word, one airborne cigarette butt could set this whole place up in flames. And this next one is called Where Clouds Come From. The adults have finally shouted themselves into silence, her father's knuckles cracking as he grips the wheel, her mother huffing out sighs, the discussion never really over. The child presses her forehead to the window, focuses on the LTV steel plant which births both heaven and hell, one side piping flames into the sky, the other releasing soft white smoke, a family of stratus.
It's cold in this neck of Ohio tonight, and the style is right for a sad winter song. I feel lost like a speck in a pile out of sight, and though I try with all might, I just don't feel that strong. As we walk through a field trekking on snowy dirt, my eyes start to hurt trying to see you smile. And we talk about fears making our story short. You are scared to get shot, your bravery goes for miles. And there's more miles to go as we walk the train tracks. I think we lost the rain back in the woods we just hiked. And the store signs can glow as you walk sidewalk cracks. I think we lost the town back trading street lamps for kites. The nursery and all of the trees crossed over the dark, and some old parking lots hold my whimpering thoughts. And I'm on the next train, you and me, can't you see what this means? In the light of a torch, realize nothing is forced, nothing is forced.
Hi, I'm Sumner Camp Steve, and you're listening to Nursery Podcast. Paths, Ohio's creative voice. So today, we'll be talking about what you're talking about, that and values. Absolutely, that's the thing. Like, sure, statistics are great, but we're just hearing about it more often, which is good too.
It's in our face now, and then
But we're just getting more statistics as well. Like more, and just like the elementary school stuff too. Like you guys hear about the New Jersey thing, like. What was it? Vinegar and cinnamon.
It was like vinegar and cinnamon.
I don't know that made some sort of reaction. But I just mean, even them, that young a crowd, and that, like, is this all really real? Would we be doing the same things if we knew that people weren't going to talk about it?
Big deal is, I think, now I don't know if this is true or not, but, up until the 1980s, and this is going to sound very, like, anti-feminist or whatever, but moms, for the most part, stayed at home with their kids and raised them. Moms were the homemakers. They were looking over, and you could survive on a one-family income. Now both parents have to work to survive because the dollar, its buying power isn't the same. People aren't making as much money.
Yeah.
And so both parents have to work, so kids are left to their own devices. So there's not nearly as much hands-on parenting going on.
Sure, that's a good point.
Kids are being shittily raised.
By computers.
By computers,
And
by other assholes on the internet.
Yeah.
And by whoever they just happen to cross paths with.
Something like
How's anyone gonna tell? We gotta tell who the villain is. If everyone's just shooting.
It's a societal problem. It's just deteriorating our values.
So there we sat in a hotel room talking about values while I secretly recorded my friends.
We do all have different values, but we all have.
But vastly different.
Everybody in this room has the same moral compass.
Yeah, but if
we
you're
all
talking about getting
generally,
a whole society,
I'm not saying
it's not gonna.
That's what frustrates me about the society is that you can never fucking get anybody on the same page.
I'm not talking
It's
about a
like I hate
homogenous
Facebook
society.
when Paris happened because it was
But just it's never gonna be.
so much people shut the
There's
fuck
always
up.
gonna be violence because there's always gonna be people who think that they have more rights than some other person, or should have more rights than some other person because of who they are or what they are or whatever.
And that's why we need to say no to the refugees.
There's always gonna be. No.
Yeah.
Let him in.
I was like, wait, what?
Where did that one come from?
Apparently we're not
Donald
on the
Trump.
same.
That was a good segue. That was a great segue.
It's strange. Okay, what if every single person in the world was a celebrity that voiced their opinion, and we all find out about it because we're all connected to each other now because we all have the internet.
Well, shit, look at how many Facebook friends do you have?
He's an idiot, and I thought I had blocked him before, but I had deleted him before, but I guess I had. I think I don't know how he was still on there. What about Paris happened? Oh, here it is. Time to wipe out the Muslim religion as a whole off the face of this planet, completely out of control. And if you have sympathy for a religion that just happens that every terrorist attack slaughtering innocent people is a Muslim, then you are, I am sorry to say, retarded. Are you kidding me?
Wait,
Do you
what?
realize what you just wrote on
Yeah.
Facebook? Are you kidding me?
Wait, what?
The kid's so uneducated and
just people, right? Talking, thinking.
Sympathy for radicals, but it's not all Muslim. There are plenty of peaceful Muslims.
Hold on, were any of them Steelers fans? Any of the Muslims?
Well, they don't know that though. They think Muslims are what we've been shown on TV in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and so on and so forth. But they don't look at the other Muslim countries that where women do drive and have all the rights.
And he writes, I do realize the difference. Not every Muslim is a terrorist, but every terrorist is a Muslim. Amazing how Japan doesn't allow them in their country, yet they have no terrorist attacks. That funny how it works, isn't it? So why take a chance? So risk our lives because we don't want to offend Muslims.
Japan doesn't allow
People
them in their
stupidly
country.
amaze me.
Pretty sure there's a lot of Muslims in Japan.
Yeah, pretty positive.
How
Japan's
dumb are
a
you?
pretty progressive nation there, buddy.
Well, yeah, like no one's too upset with them except for us because
You tell me there's
we
no
pissed them
Muslims
off.
in Japan.
It's so ridiculous. You're an absolute fool if you're going to look at this group of people like they're a loving, caring group of people that deserve my respect. If we had people like you running this country, we'd all be dead. LMAO. Okay. Just keep going on your merry way with your dumb opinion. I immediately deleted the two of them. I was like, oh my gosh. How am I even Facebook friends with somebody who thinks like me? Wake up.
Let's put a stamp on every Muslim and make them wear a symbol.
Exactly.
Like Trump does.
I'm a Muslim.
Right?
Yeah, I just saw that for the first time
Oh,
recently.
you mean like the Star of David? Is that what you?
That's so
something
fascist.
Like that,
That's
you mean?
like Marxist Hitler,
Yeah.
Stalin era-esque stuff. Like
Is that what Trump said?
Yeah.
We should do that.
they would all have to wear special badges identifying them.
We already do wear special badges, don't we? What we wear, what we listen to, what sports team we like. You don't like the same music as I do? No. Oh, you're not from here, are you? Oh, yeah. I'm just really negative, so it's not gonna work out. I want you to ask me, but I don't want to accept.
There is a spy with his head down on the floor. There is a planet on the ceiling to explore. There is a god watching from the ceiling fan, spinning his face and making his demands. There is a kid laying upside down in bed. There is a new kind of Mars created in his head. There is a book he is writing with his eyes. Nobody can look and destroy his newfound skies. I'll make it over again. I'll make it over again. You can't destroy my dreams. You can't destroy my dreams. I'll make it over again. I'll make it over again. You can't destroy my dreams. You can't destroy my.
Hello, this is Johanna George from M Gallery, 112 West Commerce Street, downtown Youngstown, and you're listening to Nursery, a podcast from Ohio's Creative Voice.
And I'd say, what has happened to you that makes you think those things are okay and are there? And there isn't anything, there's no evidence, nothing's happened to them, there's no event. It's a tribal thing. They've grown up in an environment where that is the common language or the cultural norm, and it's a very powerful thing.
Hi, I'm Summer Camp Steve, and today I'm sitting down with the legendary Alexander Draper, one of my fellow colleagues from the summer camp outdoor education world, and we're going to be talking about racism and a bunch of other stuff. Please keep listening. You're listening to Nursery Podcast, Ohio's creative voice. Don't stop listening. Keep listening.
Interesting question, and something that's very much on my mind right now a lot. I'm thinking about this question a lot. I think a big part of what we want to do with kids and our responsibility is to get them to challenge that. Let's call it the status quo. Getting them to constantly be questioning and challenging the status quo, and not to be revolutionists or to like change everything, but to constantly be going, are we doing this right?
Yeah.
Because history has shown us that we never were. History has shown us that we weren't giving women enough rights, or history has shown us that we weren't protecting children from labour, or history has shown us that we weren't looking after animals because we made changes.
Yeah.
So what changes haven't we made yet? What's wrong right now? How are we looking at those things? I see it as an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if everyone's constantly going, this isn't the best it can be, great, because it means that we're all invested in a better future. You know?
Right, assuming and hoping that that's converted into motivation for a solution.
Yeah.
Express my opinion. I didn't express what was right or what I thought was right or anything like that. I just was trying to get something out of them.
Like every staff member here is pretty much white everywhere you look. So that's something that now I'm very conscious of that I perhaps wasn't before this day. But I'm conscious of it. So I'm doing this with the group, and the fact that this kid shares is 1 in 20 students, and I remember this one now, 1 in 20 students in the US has seen a gun at school, was the fact. This might be outdated now, I think it might have been 2008, that was the fact. But 1 in 20 students has seen a gun in school, according to these facts, right? Which has always been a high number for me. That's surprising, right? Yeah. Because think about how big a school is, right? Sure. I'm sure certain areas have a lot higher numbers, and that's the average overall. But anyway, 1 in 20. So I count the number of kids in the group out loud to them to kind of give them that perspective. Yeah. There's 22 in the group, right? 24 in the group. So I said, okay, statistically, you guys have seen a gun in school as a group. One person has. Can anyone raise a hand if they've seen a gun in school? No hands went up, and I said, this is a question, this is a safe space. None of this information goes anywhere, no one's going to ask me anything about it. I'm not going to actually tell a story. But I'm just going to ask again, are you sure? Has anyone seen a gun in school? No hands go up. I said, okay, that's fair. And you know, thank you for being honest. I only wanted to ask because sometimes someone has. Yeah. And it can be very powerful to the group, is what I thought. So I move on and I send the kids to a slightly different location to be in the shade because it was a sunny day. Get them in the shade for a minute to do the next activity. So I send them over there, I'm picking up my things. It's a very, very fast paced day because they've been late. So I'm moving very quickly. Everything is fast paced. And this teacher who's there, who's actually the dean at the school, right? Well, I didn't know this until this moment. She comes over and she says, hi, I'm the dean, just want to introduce myself. I said, yeah, nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm moving quite fast. She's like, I told you about something. I'm like, yeah. And I'm fiddling in a bag and she won't say anything to me. And I look up and she went, I need you to be looking at me when I have this conversation. And I was like, okay. So I pick up my stuff and I stop and I look at her and she says, a couple of things. This is a zero tolerance school. If there's trouble in this school, if you're a student who brings problems into the school, then you're gone. We protect our students from other sources of potential problems. This is a zero tolerance school. They will not have seen a gun in the school. And I said, okay.
Oh, did she act as though you were accusing them?
So this is what I'm hearing, and I say, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's what they said. They said they hadn't seen one. He said, well, I just felt like you were possibly asking them. You said, when you said, are you sure, and you asked them again, I think you might have asked them that because they were black.
Okay.
To which I basically got very, very upset with very quickly.
Really?
And I was like, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I finally had my ducks in a row.
I'm getting more and more upset because I feel like this closure isn't there. I can't fix it myself.
Sure, yeah.
Get her at the end of the day and pull her aside. I asked her to come away from that to talk to me, and she said she would, and she explained her background. And so I'm like, what kind of words am I about to open, having a conversation where this person who studies and is obviously very aware and very educated on the issues regarding race, regarding unfair treatment of others based on something as ridiculous and as as gender or race, something that is just so inherently not worthy of judgment, and I was really upset. I actually started crying. Told her one-to-one, face-to-face. I'm sat on the ground with her by our welcome centre, crying as I'm trying to have this conversation, choking up, hard to speak, because I'm saying, I don't know what a microaggression looks like from me. All I've tried to do is I really believe in this programme and for kids that need it. I don't know anything about your school. I don't know if they're rich, poor, troubled, saints. I don't want to know. Yeah. I just assume that kids everywhere can benefit from this programme.
Just like you should be reminding yourself that even though these kids didn't have time to tell you how great of a time they had, it might be just one of those people that are going to object to everything, but really it just means that no matter what you do, it's up to you.
She asked for this hug, and I got a hug from her, and in the end, as our parting thing, but I didn't really want to be part of it.
Yeah.
I did it because she asked for it, and I felt like it would be it would have had been a very negative note to say no to someone basically offering this moment of human interaction and positivity as a way of trying to close it up. But I felt repulsed by the whole situation, including her, not for her beliefs, but because she had had such a strong negative opinion of me. Perception is reality,
Yeah.
She is a educated woman of some years. She was probably in her 30s, 40s. I remember her face now vividly.
Really?
I could paint. If I was a good enough artist, I could draw it in detail, because that was a dark day for me, and I've not had that before. And I'm sure I've made other mistakes in the past and I didn't realise because someone didn't feel like they could step up. And it's tricky. It's a really tricky thing. What you broadcast all the time, we were talking before about always being on stage.
Right.
You're always broadcasting. What are you broadcasting? Is it does it match up with what your values are and what your ideas are? My moral compass, although at times like that, what other moment it can be knocked slightly, and I can call my own actions into question. Like, was I racist? Shit, do I even know? You know, does what Donald Trump is broadcasting, does that match up with what he actually feels? Because I don't know if I can believe that. I don't know if I can believe that he's actually broadcasting what he actually feels. It seems that it's more like a marketing scheme for him. Like,
Yeah,
he knows how to
absolutely.
market. He knows how to be. He's a businessman, and
More
he knows.
people are talking about it than
Yeah.
what they apparently believe.
And he
you know.
caters to a particular group of voters.
Yeah.
Who do I believe that he I can't believe that he means all the things he says. I think like whatever you say or do is what you are.
Yeah.
But in his heart, does he hate some of the people he says he hates?
Right.
Does he really in his heart? I don't know.
This is Jimmy Martin from the Speaking of Music show at YouTube. Thanks for listening to the Nursery Podcast.